Let's look at a daring game in which Vladimir Kramnik, who was a challenger in the Classical World Chess Championship 2000, ended up beating the greatest of all time and favorites of many, and that is Garry Kasparov. So in this World Championship, Vladimir was just 25 years old while Garry was 37 years old. Garry was already a world champion that time, but he ended up making a couple of mistakes in the game which ended up costing him his crown. So let's see how Vladimir snatched the crown from Garry. So Vladimir was playing with the white pieces, so d4, knight f6, c4, e6. I'm gonna skip the opening part a bit because these are all pretty standard opening moves. And after this position, Garry Kasparov played b6. The idea is to fianchetto this bishop on the long diagonal. Bishop to g5 by Vladimir, pinning black's knight over here. And now bishop to b7, activating the light squared bishop. And now rook to e1, activating on the e file. Knight b to d7, developing queenside knight as well as fortifying the f6 knight over here. And now rook to c1, activating on the open c file. Rook to c8, same idea by Garry. And now here Vladimir played a very interesting move. Since black is attacking white's bishop, something has to be done. So while Vladimir could have got his bishop over here or here, but that would have been a bit of a defensive move, and Vladimir was clearly playing for a win over here, so he was not interested at all in retreating his bishop back. So here he played a very interesting move which not only provided defense to this bishop but also attacked black's undefended piece. So I'll give you 10 seconds to think. Can you find the next move that Vladimir ended up playing in the game? So Kramnik played queen to b3, which not only defends the bishop but also attacks black undefended bishop over here. And here the best move for black would have been either to take the bishop back to a5 so that it is still maintaining this pin, or capture this knight over here, after which the position would have been completely equal. But instead of going for either of these moves, black retreated his bishop back to e7 with the idea of unpinning this knight over here. But this move isn't really good because if you carefully evaluate the position, there is a lot of pressure on this e6 pawn. The queen and the bishop have formed a battery on this diagonal. Rook is eyeing this pawn. So there has to be some combination which blast opens the position and makes black's life miserable. So if Garry immediately sacrifices the bishop for the pawn, then after these recaptures and a check to the black king while also simultaneously double attacking this bishop, black can simply defend with rook to f7, not only blocking the check but also defending this bishop over here. So the immediate sacrifice is definitely not working. So in order to make this sacrifice work, Kramnik first plays bishop takes knight. Garry captured back with his knight, and now because this bishop is gone, this square has been vacated. Now if the rook blocks the check and protects the bishop, the rook can be attacked with this knight over here. Let's see how. Now Kramnik launched the attack with a beautiful bishop sacrifice. Bishop takes pawn, a brilliant move played by a 25-year-old Kramnik. Not only attacking this rook but putting a lot of pressure on this point. Garry captured back with his pawn, which is not a good move. Better would have been to get this rook over here. But now that move just allowed white to attack black's king with queen takes e6 check. Black king is under attack, and also there is a double attack on this bishop. How can black defend it? Because now if black tries to block the check while also defend the bishop, then Kramnik can add another attacker with the move knight to g5. There is a double attack on this rook over here. If queen comes to defense, then knight captures rook, queen captures knight, and now queen captures bishop simply wins a lot of material for white. Therefore, blocking the check with the rook is definitely not working. So Kasparov obviously calculated this and moved his king to the h8 square. The king has gotten into the corner of the board, but there are still a lot of defenses over here. So what's the next best move over here? Obviously this bishop is under attack, so let's grab a free piece over here. So queen captures bishop. Kramnik is already up in material over here, and because Kramnik is up in material, Kasparov doesn't want to lose this game, so he goes for bishop takes knight. The idea is to damage the pawn structure so that a new weakness would be created on the f file and probably aim for a draw. But Kramnik is not afraid of that. He captures the bishop back, and now since Kramnik is up in material, Kasparov doesn't want to trade queens over here, so he goes for this free pawn. Now Kramnik is just up in material by 1 point. Kasparov is thinking that the position is balanced and he should be easily able to get a draw. But Kramnik here isn't playing for a draw, he is going for a win. So having a quick look at the situation, he sees that the rook is on the active file. The rook and the queen over here are on an open file, they've already formed a battery. The only piece that is not doing much is this knight over here. So he decides to activate this knight to a place where it helps other white's pieces. So Kramnik goes for knight to b5, forking black's pieces. Since the queen is under attack, Kasparov makes another mistake of capturing this free pawn. The idea is to double attack this rook while at the same time attack this undefended knight over here. But that's a mistake, that isn't working because black had 2 active defenders at the weak back rank, and now white is able to get rid of 1 defender with rook takes c8. What a great move! Rook captures rook, and now you must be thinking that Kramnik should capture this free pawn. But hey, he's really not interested in winning a pawn or 2. He's going for a kill. He badly wants to win this game and the championship. So he goes for knight to d6. Attacking the rook as well as getting the knight closer to black king. Rook moves to b8 and now knight to f7 check, attacking black's king. King moves to g8, and now whenever you see queen and a knight closer to the opponent's king who is stuck at the back rank, there is a possibility of a smothered mate. So how can white prepare to execute the smothered mate? Can you find white's best move which was played in the game? I'll give you 10 seconds to think. The winning move is queen to e6, preparing to attack the black king with a double check. Black can't allow that to happen, so he moved his rook to the f8 square. And now the combination that Kramnik thought of is not working because if he gives check, the king can simply move to the corner and now you can't do a smothered mate because the knight is there to capture and the rook is protecting the square. So this is not working. So therefore, Kramnik came up with another creative move, knight to d8 check. King went to the corner, and now how do you finish off from here? Queen to e7, attacking the rook over here. How do you defend? Well, if rook moves closer to the king, then knight f7 is a smothered checkmate. Let's go back. If rook attacks the queen, then queen takes rook, knight takes queen, rook takes knight is a back rank checkmate. Let's go back. If rook captures the knight over here, then Kasparov just loses material with queen takes rook check. Knight cannot jump on the e8 square, otherwise it's a back rank checkmate. So knight will come to the g8 square. And now instead of doubling up the attack by moving the rook to the e8 square and allowing black to give multiple repeated checks to the white king, the easier way to win from here would be getting the queen to the d5 square, attacking this knight and not allowing the black queen to start checking the white king. Black would have played h6 in order to create escape square for the king. Queen moves to f7, getting closer to the black king. King moves to h7, queen to d5, queen f6, rook to e6, attacking the queen. Queen moves to f7 and now rook d6, queen takes queen, rook takes queen, and white can now easily win this game. So let's go back, and that is why when Kramnik played queen to e7, Garry Kasparov resigned from the game. Like this video and subscribe to my channel if you loved watching this video. And now here is the question of the day for you. White is up in material by 3 points, but you have to find the winning moves for black over here. So can you finish off white's game? Let me know your answers in the comments box and I'll see you in the next video.